Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Alright, so we just learned a new verse. You can say it one time together. Smara Gadala Kandanam Mama Sirasi Mandanam Dehi Pada Palavam Udaram. This is a very sweet verse. This is one of the most important and most well-known lines of Jayadev Goswami's Geet Govinda. And there's a very sweet story related to this. However, we'll continue today on Vilap Kusumanjali and we'll discuss this story tomorrow. It's a very sweet story, but then we can discuss the whole, how this story came about, because it's a very sweet story. So anyhow, so yesterday we were talking about the pastime of the second verse of Vilap Kusumanjali. Stala Kamalini Yuktam Garvita Kana Nesmin. That one. And we heard how all the manjaris are like beautiful flowers filled with the fragrance of the moods of Srimati Radhika. And sometimes Radhika wants Krishna to see the beauty and fragrance of these flower-like manjaris, because Radhika is proud that they are her sweet, beautiful manjaris, how fragrant and wonderful they are. And of all the manjaris, the crest jewel is Sri Rupa Manjari. So when Krishna was in their midst, hiding one time, but Radhika was in the midst of the gopis, and Radhika called forward Rupa Manjari, and then Radhika entered the Kunj, left that place, the other manjaris also left, and then Radhika indicated with her sidelong glance that Krishna should go and just see the fragrance and the beauty of this flower. Because sometimes when you see a very beautiful flower from some distance, you want to go nearby and see it. So Krishna was a little bit distant, and normally he doesn't go nearby the manjaris. So Radhika thought, oh, he should see how beautiful this flower is. And she wanted to see the reaction also of Rupa. What is her mood? So Krishna went forward to see this beautiful flower, and then he became intoxicated by the fragrance, and also he became bewildered, thinking, who is this? Is this Rupa or Radha? In his commentary, Prabhuji says that actually we cannot say that Krishna was mistaken, that when Krishna went, he thought, it said that Rupa Manjari, because she is completely absorbed in Radharani, Radhamoy, within and without, so she embodies therefore the qualities of Srimati Radhika, because she is fully absorbed in her service. And she's also a manifestation of Srimati Radhika also, as a eternal Saki of hers, Kaya Vyuha Swarup. When we chant on our Japa Mala, the first 8 beads are the Astasakis after the Radha Krishna bead, and then Rupa Manjari. Rupa Manjari is there also. So she is Radhika's Kaya Vyuha manifestation from her own transcendental form. So Krishna went nearby, and Radhika did not say, oh, go in and embrace her kiss. She indicated you should go and see the beauty of this flower. But then Krishna came nearby and said he became bewildered. Is this Rupa or Radha? Because it said that one time Krishna was at Radha Kund dancing alone, and Brinda Devi came and saw him. Generally Krishna dances with the gopis, but she saw Krishna dancing alone, and he was dancing, it appeared like he was imitating the swaying of creepers and different flowers, because all in Braj there's many types of creepers, and in the gentle breeze they, swaying differently. So Krishna was dancing like this. And Brinda Devi came and said, what are you doing, Krishna? Have you gone pagal? He said, no, I'm practicing dancing. She said, who is your teacher? He said, Radhikara Prema Guru Ami Shishyanata, that Radhika's love is my guru, and I am her disciple. And I am learning from the reflection of Srimati Radhika's moods in all the creepers, in the bees and birds near Radhakund. Especially in Radhakund, everything is Radhamoy. Everything is completely absorbed in Srimati Radhika. In most places in Braj, things are Krishnamoy. People generally think Krishnamoy means absorbed in Krishna. But at Radhakund and with the Manjaris, everything is Radhamoy, absorbed in Radharani. Like Yashoda Mata is Krishnamoy. But sometimes, it said actually Yashoda has equal love for Radha as for Krishna. She thinks Radha is like my daughter also. but still she is thinking of Krishna. But in Radhakund, everyone is absorbed in Radharani, in Radhamoy. And so Krishna was learning, he said, everyone I look at, I just see you in them. All the creepers, all the plants, all the birds, all the bees. So I'm learning from them how to dance. And what is my guru? The love of Srimati Radhika. So Sri Krishna sees, if this is possible even for the creepers and the birds, that Krishna sees Radharani in them. Because also we should understand that Radhika is like the sun of divine love. And she rises in Braj, and her rays of light permeate all of Braj. And so that love for Krishna that is in the hearts of all the Brajabasis is coming from Radhika's heart. That is her love, but it manifests in different features, in Vatsalya Ras, in Sakya Ras. But the original source of that love for Krishna is Radharani. Without Radha, there is no love. That's why when he says, Radhikara prema guru ami sishyanata, Radhika's love is the guru. And that's so for everyone, in our line also. All our gurus are empowered by the love of Srimati Radhika. It's coming from her. Because there's ultimately only Krishna and Radha, Shakti, Shaktiman. And then Radhika expands as the spiritual creation, her Shakti, and also the different jivas is ultimately coming from Shakti. But it comes through different layers, meaning it may not come directly from her, but ultimately it's all coming from her. And so Radhika's love is the guru of everyone. And Krishna is showing himself that I am the student of Srimati Radhika's love, but he's learning through the medium, not directly from Radhika. Like Mahaprabhu, he learned from Swarupa and Rai Ramananda. And Gadadhar Pandit was a little bit distant, even though he is Radhika. But then Gadadhar Pandit would sometimes give Bhagavat class and also sometimes teach like a principal in a school. So Radhika is the guru of everyone, but directly we have one guru, one Shiksha Guru, one Diksha Guru, one Bhajan Guru. We should understand, if we're in this Gaudiya Parampara line, aspiring to become the maidservants of Srimati Radhika, ultimately, Radhika is the Guru, and her love is our guide. In Braj, she is the sun of divine love, and her rays of love, and that effulgence, why it's also called Unata Ujvala Ras. We're following the process. Mahaprabhu came to give Unata Ujvala Ras. That means the topmost effulgent mellow of divine love. Ujvala means that light and rays of the sun. It's said also that the sun is actually the disciple of Srimati Radhika. If you go to Konark in Jagannath Puri, you can see before there was a throne there, and it's said to be Radharani's throne. Yeah, in Konark. There's a throne there, but the British stole it. And Puri says, ever since the British stole the throne of Radharani, then England is full of darkness. And it's very rare to get sunlight in England, because they stole Radharani's throne and took it from her place. So therefore it said that Radhikara Prema Guru, right? So then Krishna sees her in the creepers, the birds, the bees. So when he went to Rupa Manjari is constantly thinking of Radhika, always serving Radhika. And because she is always absorbed in this way, then she also appears similar to Radhika. Also, some gopis like Bishaka appear similar to Radhika. Subal also, who's a Saka, appears similar to Radhika so that he can sometimes dress as Radhika and Radhika can dress as Subal, and they can exchange roles. So Subal will stay in Javat and pretend to be Radhika and trick Jatila and Kutila and be very sweet with them and be very loving with them, and so they become very happy. Oh, Radha, today you're in a very good mood. And then Radhika will sneak out and be able to play with Krishna as Subal. There's many sweet pastimes like that. Said that one time Radharani she was locked in her house, and they wouldn't let her go outside. They wouldn't let her go to cook in Nanda Bhavan. They had heard rumors that she has a relationship with Krishna. And they themselves are jealous, actually. They want to have a relationship with Krishna. They love Krishna. But their daughter-in-law is meeting with Krishna and is her topmost beloved, and they hear about that, they become like jealous and envious. And also the Maryada, they have like etiquette. She is Jatila Kutila, her mother-in-law and sister-in-law of Radharani. And Radharani is married to Abhimanyu, Jatila's son, and Kutila's brother. So the Maryada, the etiquette is that if they hear Radharani is going and meeting with another person, then the etiquette is, oh, that's very wrong, and so they'll stop them. So they're always in this kind of ras. But ultimately, Abhimanyu, we know, he's just like an external structure, like a figure, like a scarecrow. He always is honoring and respecting Radhika. He never disturbs Radhika. He always honors, and he stays outside the house even. But still, he's there to enhance the sweetness. So they heard these rumors. They wouldn't let Radhika go outside. They wouldn't let her go to Nanda Bhavan. So then Krishna and the gopis thought, what can we do? How can we arrange Radharani to be able to meet with Krishna? So they arranged to sneak in Subal. Or, yes, basically what they did is they went and distracted Jatila Kutila, some other sakas and Krishna. Oh, we lost our calf. They brought the calves in. They started running around, making a bunch of noise. And then Subal sneaked into Radhika's room, dressed as Srimati Radhika, and gave his saka cloth to Srimati Radhika. She dressed as Subal. And then she carried one of these calves here to cover her chest. And then she slipped out. Oh, we found our calf. Now we're going. And then they went to her room and saw, oh, Srimati Radhika is there. So sometimes Subal also dresses. Actually, it said that in this pastime, Krishna was speaking with Brinda and Lalita Vishaka about how to bring Radhika out of her house. And they were saying, okay, we're going to figure out something. But they told Krishna, wait in this kunj, some way afar, like Kokilvan, nearby Javat, or another place nearby, Matvan. So then they exchanged Subal for Radhika, and then Radhika came as Subal, with holding the calf. And then she came into the kunj where Krishna was, and then Vrinda and Vishaka said, oh, what can we do? We're not able to free Radhika. What can we do? And Krishna began to cry and lament, oh, alas, alas, how she tolerates separation. How will I tolerate this? Shri Krishna virahe Radhika radasa amito sahite nare. I cannot tolerate separation from Radhika. And the Manjaris cannot tolerate Radhika's separation from Krishna. Yugalamiran sukira karan jivana charite pari. They would be happy to give up their life if they were needed to do that, to arrange the meeting of Radha Krishna. So Subal was there in the kunj, but it's actually Radhika. Krishna saw Subal. And so Krishna was crying and lamenting, oh, you were not able to free Radhika. And they said, yeah, what can we do? We went with Subal, but it's not possible. So then Subal said, embrace Krishna. Oh, what to do, you know? Like in Sakyaras, let's embrace. But then as soon as Krishna embraced Subal, he understood, oh, this is Radhika. And then they began to laugh. He was very happy. So it said sometimes the pastimes happen like this, where Subal and Radhika will change like roles or services or appearance. So similarly, Rupa Manjari also appears to be very similar to Radhika. That's why we're saying this. So when Krishna went nearby, he became bewildered, because also he is seeing that her heart is full of the moods of loving service to Radhika, always absorbed in Radhika, so he became bewildered. Also he became like intoxicated by this beauty and fragrance. Said, such is the power of the love of Srimati Radhika manifesting in all her different like features, especially in the Manjaris. Her love manifests in the Manjaris to the topmost degree, especially Rupa Manjari. And so this is like intoxicating to Krishna. And so then Krishna said he bit her lips. And Rupa immediately went into the kunj and under Radhika's shawl and began to cry, oh, why is Krishna come and disturb me? And then said Krishna, then what did Krishna do? He said that Krishna left feeling somewhat sad. Oh, I have disturbed her. I should not have done this. I became bewildered. What to do now? How will she forgive me? And he said that Krishna then went under a kadamba tree and he lay down and put aside his flute and he began to consider what to do. They began to pray what to do. And said after that, it's described that soon after Rati Manjari, he saw Rati Manjari going in that direction, another gopi, Manjari, Rati Manjari, who is Raghunath Goswami. And he went to try to speak with her, oh, please go tell her, please ask for my forgiveness. I did wrong. I did not understand. And it said that Rati Manjari ignored him. She did not talk to him. She knows, oh, if you start talking to him, then who knows what he will do, you know. So she just ignored him and went into she was on some business. So we're going to hear about that in the next verse. That she went to bring back Radhika's belt of pearls or bells. So therefore it said, then Prabhuji talks about that we should try to understand the spiritual position of our guru. Rupa Manjari is the spiritual guru of Raghunath Goswami. Even though externally he is not the Diksha Guru of Raghunath Goswami. We know Diksha Guru is Yadunandana Acharya, and his Shiksha Guru was like Swarup Damodar, or he was always in the shelter of Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar was like his guardian. And then later, in his like middle to old age, he came to Braj, right? Because when he came to Puri, he was a young man, and then he stayed there 16 years. So he was like middle-aged, maybe 40, 50. And he came to Braj, and then he took shelter of Rupa and Sanatan. But they were not his direct gurus. But still, in the first verse of Vilap Kusumanjali, he's praying to Rupa Manjari. So this is showing that this is his transcendental Paramartika Guru. He already talks about different kinds of Guru. And who are, in the spiritual world, whoever we are directly under the guidance of, that is like our Paramartika Guru. So if we're in Sakyaras, even the cows have some Anugatya. There are different groups of cows, and there's like 8 main leaders, like the Asta cows, Astasakis, Asta cows. And they're in charge of their different groups. And so maybe your spiritual form is that you will be a cow in Braj, but still you'll be under Anugatya of another cow. And so they are your Paramartik Guru. They may be your Guru. And then you will always, when you write a book, then first you will pray to your Guru. Your Paramartika Guru. And in the 4th verse, he prays to Yadunandanacharya, his Diksha Guru. So we're going to learn also about that you with great reverence, with great honor, you worship your Guru, your Diksha Guru, your Shiksha Guru. But ultimately your heart is there. But we don't necessarily understand who is our Paramartik Guru until we reach that higher stage. It may be that our Diksha Guru is our spiritual Guru. In the spiritual world, he is our direct authority in Braj Leela. Like he is the cow, who is in charge of our herd of cows. It may be like that. Or he is our Yuteshwari, our Saki leader. But now we don't know. Now we're in school, like preschool, kindergarten. We're trying to follow Bhakti. When we really enter this, like the school of Braj, like the University of Braj, there's different levels. But when we really enter and start training, then we'll start to understand what is the spiritual form of my Guru and how I'm serving there. So in the first verse of Vilap Kusumanjali, Raghunath is praying to his transcendental Guru. And in Braj also they don't offer pranam. See, there's a relationship with your Guru there. It's not like here, oh Gurudev, I'll wash your feet, I'll give you a garland, I'll offer you arti. There, it's full of sweetness and padakiya ras. So the pranam is also padakiya pranam. Why? Like Raghunath Das Goswami, how is he offering pranam to his Gurudev? Oh Rupa Manjari, you're always dedicated to Radhika. You never look at the face of another man. It said that, she never even looks at, what does it mean? Pungsa parasyan vadanam nahi pasyati. That she never looks at the face of another man, another pungsa. Pungsa purasya. She never looks at the face of another purush. What does that mean? That she's not interested in Narayan, in Nrsimha, in Vaman, in any other avatar. She's only one-pointed, and she's not even interested in Krishna. She's only serving Radhika. So her pranam, Raghunath's pranam is very sweet because it's saying, you are one-pointedly dedicated to Shrimati Radhika. You never look at any purush, any man. And yet, how is it that it seems like Chuka Pungavena, the best parrot, has come and bit your lips? Also, your husband is away from home. It said that, where was her husband? It said that, he had gone out to buy some cows from a far-off village. And so he was going to be gone for a few days. And that there was a fresh cut. So how is it possible? So Raghunath is offering pranam in this way. This is Padakiya pranam, Braj pranam. And if we're not on that level, we cannot try to speculate and imitate, like, Gurudev, We should not try to speculate, Gurudev, you got some cut. Maybe Krishna scratched you. We cannot artificially try to go to that level, We go from where we're at now. But the idea is that we should understand where we're trying to get to and gradually try to progress. So ultimately we want to understand our Guru's position in that spiritual realm and how we can serve him in that spiritual realm. It said that, who is an example of like a real disciple? Example of a real disciple is like Ramchandra Kaviraj. He received initiation from Srinivasacharya. Srinivasacharya pulled him out of family life. He was going to get married on the procession. And Srinivas was sitting in his ashram when they were passing by. And he said, look at this goat being led to slaughter with a nice garland around his neck. And he thinks I am being worshipped very nicely, but he doesn't realize they're taking him to the butcher to cut his head. and to steal his life one day at a time. Said if he was killed in one day it would be better, but now they're going to kill him one day at a time. Take all his life from him. So Srinivas was laughing, but Srinivas was also married. So some people say, why was Srinivas laughing at Ramchandra? Srinivas was also married. But his marriage is like in Braj. In Braj the gopis are married, but there's no attachment, there's no family relationship, there's no moha. The attachment is only for Radha and Krishna. So externally, okay, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi. There's no distinction on the highest level of bhakti. Jai bhaje se bada bhakti hinachar. Krishna bhakti nahi bhajana jati kuladi vichar. Doesn't matter what race you're from, what caste you're from, what gender you are. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Whoever has love and devotion, whoever has the most love and devotion, they're the most advanced. He said Krishna has more love for someone who's born in a dog-eater family than someone who's a great Kulin Pandit but doesn't have love for him. So, Jai Bhaje Se Bada, that's the most important thing. So externally he was married, but it's just like an external, drama, like external play, like in theater. Like in a theater, a man may be married to a woman, but really they're not married. So Srinivas was like that, but he was saying, Ramchandra, oh, you're going to get your life destroyed by that. So Ramchandra came to him, took shelter, became initiated. Then he stayed with Narottam Das Thakur most of the time. But then one time Srinivas Acharya appeared like he had left his body and entered Samadhi. And so they called Srinivas as his leading disciple. And Srinivas came and he saw his Gurudev sitting with you could not detect any breath. It was like he was not breathing, right? He was not breathing. It looked like he had passed away. But he was sitting there on his seat, with asan. And then Ramchandra said, okay, I'm going to sit there and don't disturb me. Until I'm also going to sit in Samadhi next to him. Don't touch him, don't touch me. Sometimes Gurudev would be doing bhajan in the early morning in Mathura. And then people would come and offer pranam and try to speak with him and touch him. And Gurudev would get very upset. And Prabhuji would later tell people, don't disturb Gurudev. If he is doing his bhajan where he's like in that world, and you come with some material idea or question, disturb them. They won't like it. That's why Prabhuji also, now he closes his gate. After he's cooking, he goes and chants 2-3 hours, Madhyanik Leela. Morning time, he's chanting. If anyone talks during Prabhuji's parikrama, he becomes very disturbed. He doesn't let them come again. Sometimes people chant Harinam loud. He says, oh, go further back. Why? Vaishnavas are absorbed in their spiritual seva at that time. Don't disturb them. So Ramchandra Kaviraj said, okay, I'm going there now, don't disturb me. So in his spirit, he sat there, did meditation. Then in the power of his... generally we think like meditation is like, okay, with your mental body, your subtle body, you can go somewhere. This is called like astral travel. It means by your subtle body, when you go to sleep, then from your navel, it said that comes out like a subtle thread, and then your subtle body will come out, and it can look down upon you also. If you know how to astral travel or astral project, you can do that. And then you can travel around. Like you can think, oh, what is this? And you can go, and I've done it, we won't get into it, but it's possible, okay? You can go with your subtle body, and then you can think, okay, what's happening there? And you can travel there, what's happening there? And then there's different dimensions you can enter. But Ramchandra Kaviraj is not going in just the subtle body, because he has realized his Siddha Swarup, his spiritual form. So he's actually in his spiritual body. It's like a switch. Ardha Bhaya Antadasa. You have external awareness, Bhaya Dasa, then you have half external, half internal, and then you have completely internal. When the Vaishnavas go completely internal, then it's like the body is here, but the consciousness has gone to their spiritual form. But the spiritual form is always there. It's not like we go with the spiritual form to Braj Leela. The spiritual form is always in Braj Leela. And especially when you realize your Siddha Swarup, when it awakens there, if you're a Nitya Siddha, it's one thing. But if they're already there, then it's like their consciousness goes there. It's very interesting thing. We'll talk about it more in another. Gurudev talks about this in his commentary. He said we should not think Raghunath Das Goswami is like us. He said Raghunath Das Goswami has a Swarup in Mahaprabhu Leela and also a Swarup in Krishna Leela. There's two forms, but there's no two forms, and his consciousness is simultaneously in both forms, and there's no mixing. Meaning it's not confusing. Sometimes he thinks of his spiritual form in Braj and is there. But also it said that in his form here as Raghunath, he's like a sadhaka, practitioner, and he's praying to get perfection. But in Braj, he's already always perfect, and he's always there in Braj. So even when he's praying in Vilap Kusumanjali, at that time also he's in Braj. Even when he's singing these verses, praying, Radhika, accept me, he's already in Braj. Otherwise, how did he see? It said that this pastime of Krishna going and biting Rupa Manjari, Raghunath was there as Rati Manjari, and he saw it. He witnessed it, or he heard from Rupa. It's actually said, Gurudev describes in his commentary, we'll touch this later, but Gurudev says that Rati Manjari later met with Rupa Manjari, and Rupa Manjari was like, at that time, smiling, because Radharani had consoled her and said, no problem, you know, this was also my desire. So then it said Rupa Manjari was smiling, and Rati said, oh, what happened? And then Rupa explained the pastime. So Gurudev says like that. So even when Rupa Goswami is here in his form in Mahaprabhu Leela, at the same time he's also in Braj Leela. So the consciousness, but then sometimes like the sadhaka, who is becoming like sadhan siddha, perfected through his practice, then they can, first you realize your siddha swarup, which means your spiritual form, but you haven't achieved what's called vastu siddhi. Vastu siddhi means when you leave this material world completely and you're only there. That's vastu siddhi. But swarup siddhi means, okay, you're here now, and in your mind you've realized your spiritual form and you're starting to serve in Astakali Lila through that. So Ramchandra Kaviraj went in that form and he saw Srinivasacharya at Radhakund, and that time they were searching for Radhika's missing ornament in Radhakund. That after she had bathed, one of her ornaments was missing, so he found that and then he gave it to Srinivasacharya, who gave it to his Guru Saki, who gave it to his Guru up to Rupa Manjari to Lita, and then they gave it to Radhika. And Radhika was very happy and said, who found it? And then they brought forward this Ramchandra Kaviraj in his Manjari form. So we'll stop with one short thing. It said that we should try to enter this process. We don't want to imitate, but we should realize who is Gurudev spiritually. Gurudev revealed this in his Seva Kunj painting. That we see the Seva Kunj painting done by Shamrani Didi. There, Radha Krishna are present, and you can see hidden in the Kunj there are 8 manjaris, and then there are also 4 manjaris. This is considered Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, and then Guru Manjari and Param Guru Manjari. So that's like, in that way Gurudev revealed his Siddha form. And said we should try to enter this understanding and progress to that level. We want to become a disciple like Ramchandra Kaviraj. That if there's any problem where Guru has some seva there in the spiritual world, we can go and we can also assist. One time Gurudev was in New York. We'll finish with this. One time Gurudev was in New York, like the first or second tour. And some of the very senior disciples of Prabhupada, Swami Maharaj, came to him for darshan. And Gurudev was sitting in his room, and then they came, and there was only a few people there, and they began to speak with him. And then Gurudev said something very interesting. He said, oh, your Swami Prabhupada tricked you. He didn't reveal everything to you. He didn't reveal his swarup to you. But I will not trick you. I will tell you directly. You see me here as an old man, but actually I'm not an old man. Actually I'm a Kishori. Actually I'm serving Srimati Radhika in that way. I'm under her guidance. And these like old men were like what to say, you know. They didn't know what to say. So Gurudev revealed like this. He was not shy about this. And we can see in our line, we know that Param Gurudev's name, Vinod Manjari, Prabhupada's name, Nainamani Manjari, Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Kamala Manjari. We learn all their swarups and we aspire to start serving in that way. But what's the basic preliminary stage? We start doing this Manasi Seva where we go to the Parikrama places, the pastime places, we offer pranam, we pray to them, we remember all the names of the associates of Radha Krishna, we pray to them. It said that Raghunath Das Goswami every day he would offer 3,000 Dandavat pranams. 2,000 or 3,000, I think. I don't know, but it said 1,000 he would offer just to all the associates. Associates of Mahaprabhu, associates of Radha Krishna. And then 1,000 to all the pastime places. So offer pranam, pray to them. This is our process. And when we do this gradually, they'll give us their mercy, and then we can start to understand our spiritual form. Otherwise, we cannot just imagine. That becomes a